Hey, what's up studs? Ryan here, or MandRproductions, and welcome to my review of the 1999 LEGO Star Wars Sith Infiltrator. Its set number is 7151 and includes 243 pieces and just one minifigure, being Darth Maul, who we'll take a look at momentarily. This set, when released in 1999, cost $30 US, and adjusted for inflation, you're looking at about $46 in 2019 money. So quite an expensive Sith Infiltrator in my opinion. If you guys do enjoy this review, make sure you leave a like. If you want to check out my other 1999 LEGO Star Wars set reviews, there'll be a playlist linked down in the description below for you to check out after the video. The box art is nice enough, taking place on Tatooine. Side of the box just shows the Slave One in different orientations, as well as the back of the box showing the Slave One kind of taken apart a little bit, which is kind of an interesting look into the interior and maybe the way that this set is built for some people that would be buying the set at the time. And then you're also going to see a couple of alternative build possibilities. Although there are no instructions included in the box for these, they probably aren't too hard to figure out if you really wanted to build them. Anyway, let's take a look at Darth Maul. I genuinely think this is a pretty killer minifigure for 1999. You had a very detailed face print, you got a cape, you got a hood, but again, the highlight of this set is certainly that face print. You even get the yellow eyes in there, which look amazing. You've got a nice little Sith robe torso print. You're not going to have a print on the back or anything, but, you know, for a standard 1999 minifigure, this isn't half bad. Of course, the horns weren't brought into LEGO Star Wars for about another decade for the Darth Maul character, but still very nice as is, and one that I definitely appreciate still to this day as one of the better aging figures over time. Probably helps that he was done not in the yellow tone color that some of the flesh tone minifigures were done in. I think that definitely helps a figure like this age better. Definitely an interesting way to look at it. He also did come with his dual-sided lightsaber with the chrome hilt here, so you get two blades on either side of the regular old chrome hilt that they were including in sets back in the day. Of course, chrome hilts have since been phased out because they tended to chip a lot and look terrible over time. Plus, they were probably expensive for LEGO to produce, but I think the chipping would have been a bigger issue quality-wise. So let's move on to the Sith Infiltrator, and boy, do I have some bad things to say about that thing. Like I said, I think Darth Maul aged well. However, I don't think his ship did. This Sith Infiltrator looks awful to me, and I was actually very disappointed with this set when I built it. I thought it was going to be better than it turned out to be, and again, very much let down by it, mostly because on the box, it actually shows this front panel is lifted up, and that makes it actually look like it has better shaping than it does. This front panel is actually meant to stay down most of the time, and you really only lift it up when you want to access that area. It's not really like supported by anything when you do this, and it really looks dumb in real life, like when you physically have it from an angle that's not the perfect one that they put on the box art. It just looks terrible. So yeah, did not age well at all. But it is very brick built, of course. Like most 1999 sets, you're just going to see a lot of bricks and plates for the majority of the build. Of course, in old gray as well, so maybe that color just not quite as crisp as you may be used to. With modern day LEGO sets, all future Sith Infiltrators were a lot better than this particular model. This one using a lot of blue as an accent color, which doesn't appear in the other Sith Infiltrators either, so I also find that to be quite peculiar for them to have done in this set. But I guess we'll flip on over to the bottom first real quick. You have pretty rudimentary landing gear. I mean, it's just these pieces that they use mostly on like Y-Wings, I feel like, in the early days of LEGO Star Wars, but here you see it on the Sith Infiltrator, and you know, they work, I guess. They double stack them in some areas to get them to be low enough to keep it up off the ground, or at least the wings up off the ground. So it works. It's landing gear. It's not too wobbly. It's pretty stable, so it's going to be able to keep your ship landed. Good enough, I guess. Passable, which is what you're going to want on something like this. The front end of the Sith Infiltrator is a couple very simple inverted slopes and plates, just some bricks leading on back. We'll get to this middle section here where on the box art, like I said, you can have it like this if you want, but at any other angle other than like dead on like this, it ain't gonna look good. So obviously the contouring on the ship is pretty messed up, but in here you have like your little droids that Darth Maul does deploy on Tatooine, so those are kind of neat. And this design was actually a design that we saw carry over in 2007, and I'm not sure if it was in any past then. I am going to do a comparison of all the Sith Infiltrators, so definitely keep your eye out for that video. These are pretty neat, but they aren't anything special. Just a couple of pieces, the antenna piece and a regular black minifigure head piece. The actual space in here is pretty small as well. It does have a space where you can actually put Darth Maul's lightsaber for when you have him riding his little speeder, which we're actually about to get into here in a moment. So there's actually a nice little spot there for Darth Maul's lightsaber. I'll give him credit where credit is due. That's not too bad. So that's nicely separated from your little droids here. You can plop those back in and close this back up very, very easily. Moving into this kind of joining section here between like the cockpit area and this front end of the Sith Infiltrator, it actually is a pretty nice design. They use a couple of the bigger LEGO Star Wars blaster things that you see on like snow speeders and on the top of like the original Y-Wings. But again, these are just used kind of to connect the Sith Infiltrator from the front to the back, which I actually really like. You have some of the bigger blasters there as well as nice little detail. And then moving into the back, you have your wings flanking the cockpit on either side, which can be opened a little bit wider if you'd like to open them during flight, just like that. Very simply done. Looks kind of cool like that, I must say. Definitely looks better, I think, than it does when they are closed up. They are a bit hard to open and close just because it's that Technic and it's very like, you know, you do it once and the whole thing shakes when you do it, but still nice enough for the time, I guess. You have a printed slope on the front of the cockpit here, which actually looks pretty neat. It's basically the windshield of it, and then on top you have another little print on a circular 2x2 tile, just kind of showing some markings on the top. And then on the back you have a very large, basically tie windshield piece, or what was a tie windshield piece. I don't really use it as that anymore modern day, but this is actually a very neat print. Printed all over, exclusive to this set. I don't think this print ever appeared in another set. Just kind of the backside of the Sith Infiltrator there. And I don't even really think it was necessary, but they did it anyway. It could have got away with just a plain gray piece there, but they went the extra mile, and I can appreciate that. So if you lift up this little tab here and pull down on this, you will reveal Darth Maul's speeder. And this is actually the same exact speeder that we did receive in the lightsaber duel set with Darth Maul and Qui-Gon. So you didn't have to buy this set to get that speeder, or Darth Maul for that matter. It's also the same Darth Maul minifigure, but still a nice inclusion in the set. Unsurprisingly, you can have Darth Maul sit down on the speeder and hold on to the handlebars. You're just gonna have to drape the cape over the back end of the speeder. And given that it is not a soft cape from modern day, it is going to be a little bit tough to bend back there, but eventually you'll be able to get it, and you can have Darth Maul hold on to the handlebars like that. Pretty easy to do. Only takes about 20 seconds maximum, so looks nice with Darth Maul on there, and you can stick that into the back end of the Sith Infiltrator there. No cockpit details, no control panels or anything there, just a blank space, which is kind of unfortunate, but they do include these nice bumpers essentially on either side to kind of help you guide in the speeder bike here and keep it in place when moving. And the nice thing about having this larger tie cockpit piece in the back is that it extends far enough out to allow the cape not to get crushed within the Sith Infiltrator. So when we raise this back up, you won't hear the cape getting crushed because it's not being crushed. Then you can close that up and you have Darth Maul contained within the Infiltrator. You can see on these back panels here, just pretty blank, but also nicely attached with these curved black pieces. So I kind of like that. And as a quick side note, before I get my final thoughts on this Sith Infiltrator, the instruction manual is huge. That is my hand. You would think this would be a smaller instruction manual. No, this thing is absolutely ginormous. Here it is with the Sith Infiltrator on it. You can see it's a big manual. The reason I wanted to show you guys this is in the back, they actually have a comic book of the set, which is kind of nice. I wish they still did this. This is pretty cool. So you get like a Darth Maul comic with the Sith Infiltrator. You can also see some of the alternative models here that he builds it up into. Some Jawas, nice little cameo there, even before they had Lego Jawas. So this is really neat. And then here, while they don't include step-by-step instructions, like I mentioned earlier, for these models, you can still figure out how to build some alternative models on the back of this set, like this, more of the comic, and another alternative model. So very interesting builds there. Again, not the same alternative models that you see on the back of the box, but alternative models really from the comics, which is kind of interesting. I don't know why they don't include instructions for both, but they don't. This set might have been okay in 1999, mostly because its competition was also not that great, but by today's standards, this Sith Infiltrator is a disastrous mess. It has one minifigure, which again, by today's standards, doesn't look that great, but has honestly aged pretty well compared to some other older Lego Star Wars minifigures, but the actual ship itself, the Sith Infiltrator, looks awful. This is one of the worst 1999 sets. It might be the worst 1999 set. You guys can debate that in the comments section below, but I am not liking this one. So I'm going to be giving it a 3 out of 10. I do not think they did a good job at all. Maybe, I mean, for the time, I guess, but like, this one, I gotta give it my honest opinion on what I'm looking at it today in the flesh. It's terrible, okay? It's not good. There are 3 better Sith Infiltrators that they've made since this, and this is just uncomparable, really, to them. Should you buy this Sith Infiltrator? No. Why would you? If you're buying a Sith Infiltrator to buy a Sith Infiltrator, this is not the one. If you want it just because you like classic Lego Star Wars sets, there's a lot of other classic Lego Star Wars sets that are better than this, so probably take a look elsewhere. I can't really recommend this in good faith to anybody, so I don't know why you would buy this. I mean, if your heart wants what the heart wants, get it, but other than that, like, no thank you. Maybe you have, like, some connection to it from your childhood. That might be a good reason to buy it, but like I said, other than that, like, you're really stretching to say good things about the set, in my opinion. So that's all I have for you guys. Thank you for watching. If you want to check out my other 1999 Lego Star Wars set reviews, you guys can check the link in the description below for the playlist or on the end screen now.